When the white tents went up at the private cliffside estate in Santa Barbara, everyone expected a perfect wedding night. But when Selena Gomez's most special day began, no one could have predicted that 7 minutes later, it would become history. September 27, 2025. As Pacific Ocean waves crashed against the rocks, Selena Gomez stood in front of her white Ralph Lauren dress, the custom-made halter neck design, draped over her body like silk. The small lily bouquet in her hand was trembling, but her shaking hands weren't just from excitement. "Ready, beautiful?" Priscilla Marie touched her cousin's shoulder. Selena's maid of honor was also her closest confidante. Selena had been Priscilla's maid of honor at her 2019 wedding, and now Selena couldn't walk down the aisle without her cousin by her side. Selena closed her eyes. She took a deep breath, but that voice inside her wouldn't stop. It never stopped. "Do you really deserve this?" That voice had been there for 10 years. The day she was diagnosed with lupus, the moment she woke up from her kidney transplant surgery. In those backstage moments when she had panic attacks, every time she broke up with Justin, even when everything seemed fine, that voice always whispered, "You're not good enough." But today was different. Today that voice had to be wrong. "Selena?" Priscilla's voice was more urgent now. "The guests are waiting. Benny's waiting. Benny Blanco." Just his name made her smile. The happiness that came after 10 years of friendship. When they first met at that meeting, her mother arranged when she was 17, Benny was just a producer, someone who would help Selena's music career. But now he was Selena's entire world. As Selena started walking toward the tent, nobody knew that what would happen later that night would break the internet. But for now, only 170 guests sat under the white tents, expecting a peaceful ceremony. The private estate in Santa Barbara's Montecito area was one of Hollywood's most luxurious wedding venues. Revelry event designers had planned every detail flawlessly. The team that had worked on the Grammys and Oscar ceremonies had done their best for Selena too, who wasn't on the guest list. Taylor Swift sat in the front row, Selena's closest friend of 10 years, but even Taylor didn't know about the real crisis Selena would face that night. Martin Short and Steve Martin, her co-stars from Only Murders in the Building, were whispering mischievously. Martin would give a speech later, and Steve would play his banjo after the wedding. Everything was planned, every detail. Paris Hilton sat smiling in an elegant dress. Ed Sheeran was there too. He had already confessed to receiving his invitation in May, during Vanity Fair's lie detector test. The sun was setting. Orange-pink tones spread across the Pacific Ocean. A perfect moment. Selena stopped at the entrance of the tent. The music began. Not a traditional wedding march, but a specially selected instrumental, a piece Benny produced, just for Selena. When she took her first step, all eyes turned to her. Under Ralph Lauren's custom dress, her heart was beating wildly. But there was a calm smile on her face. That mask she learned after years of acting. Benny Blanco stood in front of the gray tent at the altar in his black tuxedo. His eyes were locked on Selena, and in that look was love, pure, unconditional love. But as Selena walked, that voice inside whispered again, "Whenever everything goes right, that's when it falls apart. Are you ready?" Selena shook her head. No, this time would be different. This time the happy ending was real. When she reached the altar, she took Benny's hand. His hands were warm, reassuring. The officiant began to speak. "Dear friends, we are gathered here today to witness the union of two souls." Selena's mind was somewhere else, in the past, in that first panic attack, that day in the LA studio, when her chest tightened in front of everyone, when she couldn't breathe. No, focus here, this moment. Benny began his vows. His voice was soft but determined. "Selena, I met you when you were 17. Back then we were just friends, but now I understand that every moment of my life was leading to you. You are my home, you are my peace, and every morning I wake up, I'm grateful to be by your side." Taylor Swift's eyes welled up. Paris Hilton wiped her eyes with a tissue. Martin Short looked at Steve and nodded. This is when everything changed. Selena began her vows. Her voice was steady at first. "Benny, you were the unexpected one for me. We were friends for 10 years, and I always thought, maybe love isn't like this. Maybe love has to be stormy, difficult. But when you came, I learned that love can be peace. Then her voice trembled, very slightly, but it trembled. You are for me. Selena stopped. Her eyes stared into space, just for a second, but that 1 second made some of the guests uneasy. Benny squeezed Selena's hand tighter. It's okay, baby. Breathe. Selena smiled. She continued, you are my safe harbor, and being with you means finally feeling at home. The vows were done. It was time for the ring exchange. Benny placed that stunning marquise-cut diamond on Selena's finger. Selena slipped the ring onto Benny's finger. I now pronounce you husband and wife. Applause. Cheers. Benny kissed Selena. A long, emotional kiss. But nobody noticed that single tear sliding from Selena's eye. A tear of happiness, or something else. When the reception began, tables were filled with luxurious appetizers. But Selena's simple menu was there. Small sandwiches, pickles, and most importantly, her Nana's biscuits and gravy. Selena didn't want a wedding cake. Instead, there was just a small cake for the two of them, the kind they'd freeze, because Selena hated ostentation. She loved simplicity. But the really shocking thing was that there would be no first dance. Martin Short took the stage to give his speech. Dear Selena and Benny, I've lived this many years, but I've never seen a couple like you. Selena, you're not just an amazing actress. You're also a sincere, honest, and strong woman. And Benny, you're the luckiest man in the world, buddy. Laughter. Applause. Steve Martin pulled out his banjo and started playing a funny melody. Everyone laughed. Taylor Swift hugged Selena. Are you happy? She whispered. Selena smiled. I'm very happy. But Taylor saw that sparkle in Selena's eyes. That familiar sparkle. That fragility. Selena, are you really okay? Selena nodded. Yes, I'm just very emotional. Taylor didn't believe her, but didn't push. Maybe she should have. When dinner service began, everyone had relaxed. Jokes, stories, memories. Benny whispered something in Selena's ear. Selena laughed. A real laugh. Genuine. But then her phone rang. Selena looked at her phone. The screen read, Manager, urgent. That's when Selena's facial expression changed. Benny noticed. What's wrong, baby? Selena shook her head. Nothing. I'll be right back. Selena left the tent. The sound of the Pacific Ocean came from the bottom of the cliff. She answered the phone. Selena, I'm sorry, but there's a crisis. What crisis? A video leaked on social media. About you. And this is bad. Really bad. Selena's heart raced. What video? Someone leaked footage of you from a private clinic in the past. A mental health clinic. And now the hashtag is trending. The media has gone crazy. Selena's hands trembled. No, not today. Please, not today. Selena, are you there? Selena hung up the phone. She dropped it. The phone slid toward the edge of the cliff. Then her knees trembled. Her chest tightened. Panic attack. Again. It was starting again. Selena collapsed to the ground. She couldn't breathe. She pressed her hands to her chest. No, not now. But her body wasn't listening. Her brain was sounding the alarm. Danger, danger, danger. But there was no danger. Just the past. Just trauma. Just those voices. You're not good enough. Everyone will find out. You can't hide anymore. Selena's eyes darkened. The sounds around her faded away. That's when someone came. Taylor Swift was the first person to find Selena. When she left the tent, she saw Selena collapsed on the ground. Selena. Taylor ran. She knelt beside her. Breathe. Breathe with me. In, out, in, out. Selena tried to focus on Taylor's voice. In, out, in, out. Slowly her breathing normalized. The pressure in her chest eased. Taylor looked at Selena's face. What happened? Selena answered with tears. It's over. Everything's over. A video leaked. My clinic footage. Everyone will see. Everyone will know. Taylor shook her head. So what? Selena was surprised. What do you mean, so what? Selena, you fought for your mental health. You got clinical treatment. You saved your life. This isn't something to be ashamed of. This is something to be proud of. But people, whatever people think, you got married today, the happiest day of your life. And you're here, on the ground, collapsed over a video. Is this what you want? Selena fell silent. Taylor extended her hand. Get up. Go back to your wedding. Benny's waiting for you, and I'm coming with you. Selena held Taylor's hand. She stood up. But as she stood, that voice came again. Everyone will judge you. This time, Selena answered, out loud. Let them judge. Taylor smiled. That's my Selena. Baby, where were you? I looked everywhere for you. Selena hugged Benny and whispered, I need to tell you something. Benny looked worried. What happened? Selena took a deep breath. A video leaked. My clinic footage. From my mental health treatment. And right now, the trending hashtag is my story. Benny's expression softened. He put his hand on Selena's cheek. And Selena was surprised. And everyone will see. Benny smiled. Baby, I already knew. You told me everything. The lupus, the kidney transplant, the panic attacks, the clinical treatment. And I loved you even more. Because you're real. You're not perfect. And I love the imperfect you. Selena's eyes filled with tears. But this time, they were tears of happiness. Really? Benny kissed her. Really? Selena walked to the center of the tent. She took the microphone. Everyone fell silent. Friends, I want to make an announcement. The guests were surprised. What was happening? Selena continued. Today is the happiest day of my life. I married the love of my life. But a few minutes ago, I learned that a video about my past leaked. About my mental health treatment. Silence. Deep silence. And I want to tell you something about this. Yes, I had mental health issues. Yes, I received clinical treatment. Yes, I had panic attacks. But these things didn't make me weak. They made me strong. Taylor Swift stood up. She applauded. Then Martin Short. Then Steve Martin. Then Paris Hilton. Then everyone. The entire wedding hall was standing, applauding. Selena smiled through tears. Thank you all. Benny came on stage. He hugged Selena. That's my wife, the strongest woman in the world. The wedding ended. The guests left. Selena and Benny were alone in their $3,500 suite at the El Encanto Hotel. Selena opened her phone. She went to Instagram. 100 million likes. Hashtag Selena Strong trending. Selena Gomez, mental health advocate. Selena Gomez's courage is inspiring. Selena Gomez makes wedding announcement. Gives hope to millions. Selena couldn't believe it. She expected scandal but got support. She expected judgment but got applause. Benny hugged her from behind. See, the world loves you. Because you're real. And being real is the most powerful weapon. Selena leaned her head on Benny's shoulder. I was so scared. I know, but you don't have to be scared anymore. Because you're not alone. And you never will be. Selena posted a photo on Instagram. A wedding day photo. With Benny. And the caption. Elegant 9.27. Polypro. Simple. Elegant. Powerful. Comments started flowing. You're a hero, Selena. Thank you for being real. Mental health matters. With your courage, more people will get help. Selena closed her phone. She looked at Benny. Are you ready? For what? Selena smiled. For the rest of our lives. Benny kissed her. I'm ready for anything with you. When Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco returned from their honeymoon, they gave an interview to Rolling Stone magazine. In the interview, Selena said, my wedding day was the hardest and most beautiful day of my life. Because that day, I learned to be honest with myself. I'm not hiding anymore. I'm not ashamed anymore. I'm Selena Gomez. I'm a lupus patient. I struggle with mental health. And I'm happy. Benny added, I admire her every day. Because she's one of the strongest people the world has ever seen. And I'm proud to support her. When the interview was published, millions of people read it. And millions of people started sharing their own stories. And Selena hashtag was born. Talking about mental health wasn't taboo anymore. It wasn't something to be ashamed of anymore. Selena Gomez became a hero on her wedding day. But she only did one thing. Being real. A year later, Selena and Benny were interviewed on a podcast. The podcast host asked, Selena, if you could look back at your wedding day, would you change anything? Selena smiled. No, because that day, I was my real self. And that was worth everything to me. What about that video scandal? If you could go back and erase that moment. Selena shook her head. No, because that moment taught me the greatest lesson. Being real is the greatest power. And I'm not living in fear anymore. And I'm happier every day to be with her. The podcast ended. Selena and Benny left the studio. As they got in the car, Selena looked up at the sky. The sun was setting, just like on her wedding day. But this time, Selena wasn't afraid. This time, Selena was ready. Because she now knew. Happiness wasn't about being perfect. Happiness was about being real.